Drawing to prevent oblivion is the message Natalia Kerbabian wants to send with her art. Each of these sketches represents a historic building in Buenos Aires that has been demolished. Kerbabian wants to raise awareness about how the city's history is slowly being torn apart.
I started going around the city and seeing how important buildings have disappeared, so I decided to draw them so we don't forget. I'm keeping a record of what the city was as it changes.
As urban development accelerates, there's a growing number of historic buildings in Buenos Aires that are being demolished. They date back to the 19th and 20th centuries. And it's not just structures that are being lost, but also parts of the soul and the spirit of Buenos Aires.
The tension between preservation and urban renewal is an ongoing dilemma for cities, where often entire neighborhoods are transformed. Mauro Sbarbati is part of an NGO that is trying to prevent historic homes in Buenos Aires from being demolished.
The city government has been very lax with the number of floors a building may have. The city code do not consider what already exists, and that is why there is no control, even if there is historical value.
City officials say that's why they're pushing for a law that will protect more than 4,000 buildings that were built over 80 years ago.
It took us several years to have a list of the buildings that need to be protected. Initially, there were over 100,000, and the list was reduced to 4,000.
Even though some areas like San Telmo are protected from developers because of their historical importance, Jonathan Valdivieso says much more needs to be done.
Buenos Aires has over 50 protected areas, but in many cases the law is not respected. The city has granted permits that violate the identity of this area, but those permits go against the limits of what can be built.
Like many other cities around the world, Buenos Aires is changing quickly. Urban developers are hoping to build high-rise buildings to accommodate the growing population, but there are increasing demands for the government to do more to protect the city's heritage. Teresa, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.